Isn't it a lovely day, William?
Loud.
Isn't it a lovely day?
Let me see.
Isn't it a lovely day, William? Perfect day for an interview.
First of all, who gave thou the right to call me William? If thou call me that again, I will commence to omit on this conversation. Thou have to call me Sir Shakespeare, if thou don't mind. And nay, it is not a lovely day.
May I know why you're talking like that? And why did you change your name to Sheikhspeare?
Because I converted to the Islam a long time ago, after I died. So now I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, and I forget English. Who cares about English? But I have a nice history. I did a lot of things for English, so I will explain to you. But I am Shakespeare because I am Shakespeare, because I am Islamic now. So please, can you start?
Oh, okay, sir. I want to start off with a big question. How did you become such an amazing fluence without even going to college? And sir, some people accuse you for being a fraud. They ask that how can someone so unprivileged become such a personality? They also say that it could have been Christopher Marlowe or Francis Bacon who could have written these works and use your name so they could hide their identity. Identity.
Okay. Oh, I like this water. Let me make it thou clear. Hold it. Thou don't have to attend the college so you can be a huge personality, okay? How many people do we know of that didn't attend college and became huge? Steve Jobs, Bradley Cooper. All thou need is passion. And to those who are calling me a fraud, listen, all the names that they say could have written my place, trust me, they couldn't have written my place because I was the mastermind of the time. And they couldn't have written the place because I have the most evidence to writing my own plays. Oh brother, I wrote the plays. It's so much ado about nothing. Yeah, do you have the water? I like to mix with the water. Please. You don't have water? Why are you laughing, man? Oh, okay. Here, you got the cover. Yeah, I forgot. Please proceed.
Did you know that the American president Abraham Lincoln was a lover of your plays, and Abraham's Asian was
assassin, I think.
Assassin was a famous Shakespearean actor. What do you have to say about that?
I have to say that ye are making me feel sad for no reason. I have nothing to do with the coincidence. If the next question is not stupendous, I will leave.
Right on it, Sir Shakespeare. What did you study in your school life? I've heard that you were a bright student.
Not just a bright student. I was the brightest of the brightest. Sick, ain't it? Oh, looks like I start this 21st century English. I studied Latin, the Greek rhetoric, the history, and the literature. I studied all of them at just the local school.
Can you tell us why you left school at the age of 16 and what you did after you left?
No, I was actually 14 or 15 when I left the school, and I left because of my father, John Shakespeare. Now I call him Shakespeare. Was into a lot of debt. He was in a lot of debt at that time. So it was so bad, I even remember until this day the 4 individuals who threatened death and mutilation of my limbs. Oh, I mean my dad's limbs. Oh, how I wish to go back and write a few tragedies about brutal murders of all 4 of those unpleasant individuals. Coming back to thy question. After I left the school, I left my hometown, Stratford, to work as a servant for the Hogton family in Lancaster. I stayed there for a few years so I could help my family with the money I earned.
Splendid! Moving on now. Sir, you married 26-year-old Annie Hathaway when you were just 18, and that was normal at that time. So what So why did you do it?
Love is merely a madness.
Okay, so after you got married, you dedicated your life to your wife and children? Although, surprisingly, after a few years, no one knew what you were doing. But it was clear by 1588 that you were in London and you were looking for jobs in a company of actors. Is that true?
Aye, it is true. Before going to London, I was perfecting my drama skills and studying and collecting sources for plots in the plays. At around 1588, I can't remember perfectly, but around that time, I have such a big brain, so I don't remember. So at around 1588, I was in London, and over there, I learned a lot of new ideas. And by 1592, what did I do again? I began writing my own plays.
Oh, and what else happened?
What else happened? What? What?
Okay, never mind. Going back a title, a lot of people think that Romeo and Juliet was inspired from your marriage with Anne.
Do thou think that Anne, my wife, took a sleeping potion to avoid marriage with me? Sorry. I don't want to do this. Okay, start. Do thou think my wife, Annie, took a sleeping potion to avoid marriage with her cousin? And do thou think that I saw her and then I thought she was dead, so I killed myself because I thought she was dead, when in reality she wasn't? She was just asleep. And then when she woke up and saw that I was lying next to her dead, she then killed herself, and then we both died. Do thou think that is true? I think not. So of course, nay, Romeo and Juliet is not inspired from mine and Anne's relationship. People nowadays,
Sir,
please,
calm down.
I have to do blow my nose. I come back. Okay, please, 2 seconds. Okay, I blow my nose. Let's go.
Okay, so sir, calm down.
I don't calm down. I don't calm down. You do the question.
Okay, sir. How do you spell your last name? We have one way of writing it, which is probably wrong. And also pronounced wrong too. So please clarify that.
I don't know. I spell my last name however I like. Thank thou very much. As long as it sounds more or less like Shakespeare or Sheikhspeare now. Before Shakespeare, but it's okay.
Fair enough, Sir Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. You know that a lot of your plays have been lost. Scholars think that you wrote about 20 that have gone without a trace. Do you think that they could have helped you become an even better influence?
Why are you so close to me? Yes, come here. Okay. Considering the fact that I never actually published any of my plays, I mean, they were acted out a lot, but we had the scripts to ourselves. So until one day, one of my friends decided to publish them. So before, sorry, my English is bad because I don't care about English, but this is good. So what was I saying? Yeah. So when my friend published them, until my friend didn't publish them, I wasn't so big. I was big, but not so big. And guess what? After the publishing, I became huge. So if those plays were not lost, I would be a way bigger influence today.
Okay, North America has to thank you for the 200 million sterling present in the area of North America. Do you think they should? Why?
There was a man named Eugen Skyflynn who came to the England on a mission to find all the birds that are mentioned in my works, but absent from the United States, and then take them there. So while this man was searching, he probably read Henry VI IV is what is IV again? It's a 4, I think, right? Yes. Henry the Fourth, part 1, because that is the only place where a starling is mentioned in all of my work. So he got 2 flocks of 60 starlings and brought them to the USA. And after 120 years or so, the number increased to 200 million starlings. North America should thank me, because if I didn't mention a starling in Henry IV part 1, then there would be no starlings in North America today.
William Shakespeare is an anagram for I'm a weaker speller.
And that's not funny, and it doesn't mean anything, I'm sorry.
Shakespeare's Globes Theatre in London only exists because of Sam Wanamaker, who was an American actor and producer. He was such a huge fan of you that he spent 23 years fundraising to rebuild the theater. Since it was destroyed later, do you want to close it with what you think this will do in the future and how you will be remembered?
I am very thankful for Sam Wanamaker's hard work to rebuild the Globe Theatre, as I've rightly heard that it is one of the most visited places in the London today. So if actors, producers, writers all keep an eye out for each other and help each other, I think we can have a very, very bright future in the theatre. The Globe Theatre will hopefully remain there, and people will keep reading and acting out my plays. And undoubtedly, it will create amazing new actors, writers, and producers for the future. As I always say, it is not for the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves.
Thank you, William.
Hey, what did you just call me? You want to start a fight? You want to fight?
Yeah.
Okay, we are done. Are we done? Can I drink? Thank you. Okay, so, hey guys, what's up? Yo, peace.
Yo,
We
peace
finally
out.
got this guy to do a skit. So, okay, this was a school project, but like I just felt like doing it, turning it to Shakespeare. So yeah, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. And okay, this is how we sign off. Wait, do this one. 3, 2, 1. Raja. Subscribe.
Like, comment,
yes, thank you. I like
and
you.
thumbs up, not thumbs down.